Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good evening and a very warm welcome to each one of you present here. First, first of all, what IEEE is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, world's largest professional organization committed to the advancement of technological innovation and excellence to benefit all of community. This association has developed thousands of standards to provide a basis for regulation and remove barriers for development. It is designed to serve professionals involved in all aspects of electrical and computing fields and related areas of science and technology that underlie modern civilization. Interesting fact is that IEEE has a community of 420,000 members from all professions, including students, doctors, engineers, and professionals, and 5 million IEEE explored content. IEEE has more than 40 societies to engage people on their own. Some societies are IEEE Aerospace and Electronic Systems Society, IEEE Antennas and Propagation Society, IEEE Circuits and Systems Society, IEEE Components, Packaging and Manufacturing Technology Society. Okay, so here is our program. IEEE Potential Development Webinar Series. Prior time to start a new life. The main purpose of this webinar series is to engage maximum people with this fruitful and healthy activity in this pandemic situation. There are interesting topics with great speakers, and we will spend some good time together. Okay, so here is our series timeline. We have total 8 webinars on different work themes like mental well-being, research methodology, personal development, sustainable development and coherent national research agenda in Pakistan, find your inner skills and start making money, study of COVID-19 from the perspective of control systems. If you don't find it, then create it, and time management. 4 webinars are done and 4 webinars are more to come. 140 people attended our first webinar on mental well-being by Mariam Rashid via Facebook and WebEx. 151 people attended our second webinar on research methodology by Dr. G.S. Javed via Facebook and WebEx. Okay, so today's speaker is Naveed Ahmed Unur, and he will talk about sustainable development and coherent national research agenda in Pakistan. He is working as Assistant Executive Engineer at National Transmission and Dispatch Company, Ministry of Energy, Power Division. He has volunteered as Action Plan Executor, Affordable and Clean Energy for World Merit's flagship program, Merit 360, to tackle United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. He has authored 4 conference proceedings and 2 research papers. He is a qualified electrical engineer, aspiring to become an exemplary engineering professional in the field of electrical energy and power engineering. He served his community as a change maker, helping young engineers in capacity building and career development through leadership training. Okay, so here is an activity we have for you during the webinar. So what you need to do is you need to follow these instructions. Take a screenshot of the webinar or take a selfie with the webinar. Share your experience on your Facebook or Instagram and mention us at these Facebook and Insta IDs. An additional certificate and special shout out on our Insta account. Hand over to Mr. Naveed Ahmed Unar.
Hello, Rahman, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible. You can start now.
Thank you. Uh, Starting with the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Engineer Naveed Ahmad Unar. As you already listened in the introduction by our very kind host, Mr. Abdul Rahman, I welcome you all on behalf of the National Transmission and Dispatch Company Limited, which is the premier electric utility of our company. You may not be aware of the hierarchy or structure in which the distribution, transmission, and generation companies are organized in Pakistan. And there will be several things I will be discussing today which are related to the topic. And since it's a huge topic, it contains a lot of sub areas. So I will try to put it in a very generalized way since it is my first interaction through an online webinar. So without wasting further time, I will straight away lead to my presentation and we can move on and discuss simultaneously. So as you can clearly see from the start of the presentation, the title of this presentation is a bit different, but it actually deals with what I am going to discuss today: role of young engineering professionals in sustainable development and industry engagement. So as you can see from the first slide, my name is Engineer Naveed Ahmad. I am currently working as Assistant Executive Engineer at Power System Planning Department of NTPC Lahore. Moving towards the next slide, brief introduction of the speaker. I am currently, as you just learned, that I am working in NTDC. But apart from that, I am volunteering as an action plan executor for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As part of Merit 360 flagship program, which is a global program for tackling or achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I am currently executive MBA candidate, and I am currently doing thesis for my MBA studies. I've done Bachelor in Electrical Power Engineering from Mehran University of Engineering and Technology. This is an administrative hierarchy of my organization. The way our organization is spread across the country, where you can see two regions, north and south. In both regions, we have different circles that are named as, you can see, Lahore, Islamabad, Gatti, Peshawar, Rawat. And then you can see on the right hand side in the south region, Multan, Quetta. This gives an overview of grid system operations and asset management uh, operation and maintenance carried out by NTDC engineers and staff. So we have around 16 500 kV grid stations in Pakistan that we are operating and maintaining. We have 220 kV, 42 number of 220 kV grid stations. We have 500 kV transmission lines spreading across the distance of 5,893 kilometers. We have 220 kV transmission lines spread over the area of 1,11,054 kilometers. And this system is spreading day by day because with increasing demand, there is increase in generation capacity, and we are responsible for evacuating that power to meet that demand. And that demand is being met by developing number of grid stations and transmission lines all across Pakistan. Sustainable development and industry engagement. Now, before we move ahead, I would like to explain the concept of sustainable development and why we need sustainable development. Sustainable development is a concept basically that tells us how to be socially acceptable, economically viable, and efficient at the same time. Now, there are three factors. One is social protection, social acceptance. The other is economic feasibility or economic viability. And then there is inclusive growth. All these factors pave the way towards sustainable development. Now, briefing upon the history of sustainable development, as we move along the presentation, I will keep discussing and deliberating on various concepts of sustainable development and how it developed and how the United Nations is leading its programs on sustainable development. There are certain things that are not in this presentation. Those things are different and are kept differently and will be shared accordingly, apart from the presentation. Outlines and learning objectives of today's lecture. First is 10-point agenda for the betterment of engineering profession in Pakistan. Then we have engineering internship initiative for young engineering students, ES, that I launched while starting working at NTDC. Establishment of energy training center, revival of research and development culture in Pakistan. Affordable and clean energy supply to mitigate climate change. Case study of Miss Greta Thunberg, who is a 16-year-old girl, a climate activist belonging to Sweden. IEEE dialogue amongst various stakeholders. Engineering entrepreneurship to mitigate unemployment. Nomination of young outstanding engineers in PEC Young Engineers Development Committee. So these are different learning objectives from this presentation. I will be discussing these learning objectives in a very brief manner, but in a concrete manner so that you can develop your concepts accordingly. Now, this diagram or infograph represents the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As you can see that these are 17 goals in totality, starting from no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, and then we have clean water and sanitation, and the one on which my team is working, affordable and clean energy. My team is also working on decent work and economic growth. We are also working on industry, innovation and infrastructure. Then we have reduced inequalities. Then my team also works on goal number 11, that is sustainable cities and communities. Then we have responsible consumption and production. 13, we have climate action. 14, life below water. 15, life on land. And 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Finally, we have partnership for the good. Now, these United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are also called global goals. Why they are called global goals? Because we are actually addressing these goals to make this world a better place to live. So this is not about just one country or continent or area. This is about us. This is about the planet Earth. So we all have to come together and work together to make this world a better, more peaceful, more reliable, more stable, more efficient place to live. Now, just moving along, I would like to explain sustainable development in power sector of Pakistan. As I said in the beginning, power sector comprises of various stakeholders where we have generation of electrical power, then we have transmission and dispatch of that electrical power, and then finally we have distribution services. All these come in the domain or in the mandate of power sector. And that is generally governed by the government of Pakistan, apart from K Electric, which is a private entity. Now, when I talk about sustainable development in power sector of Pakistan, I talk about goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. I talk about goal number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. I talk about goal number 13, climate action. Now, I would like to suggest all the participants to make notes of what I am delivering today in this lecture. These 3 goals, goal number 7, 9 and 13, are the primary set of goals that power sector is working on. And then we have secondary set of goals. Goal number 8, that is decent work and economic growth. Goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. And goal number 17, partnership for the goals. These are the secondary set of goals. Now we have primary set of goals and secondary set of goals. But one may ask a question, what about other goals? Don't they fall in the domain or purview of power sector? Oh yes, of course they do. But then there will be tertiary set of goals, which we are not that much interested, because we focus on primary and secondary set of goals at this time of the period. Moving along. You can see 11 participants shortlisted for Merit 360 flagship program, the program which was announced and operated by World Merit United Kingdom, a charity organization. I was one of the first Pakistanis to be shortlisted and selected for this program back in 2016. Unfortunately, due to financial limitations, I could not go to the United States of America because this program was not fully funded. But ever since then, I have been closely associated with this program, and now I'm working there as research analyst and action plan executive. You can see there are various participants, and not just those 11 participants. There were hundreds of participants, but I was one of the first Pakistanis. So this photograph actually shows one of the first few selected participants. Now, as part of the Merit 360 flagship program, I was engaged and involved in various seminars and workshops, as I was tasked to prepare and organize various seminars and workshops to create general public awareness in Pakistan, especially in downtrodden and underprivileged rural communities of Sindh. So as a task on July 25, 2016, I had to deliver a presentation on what World Merit and Merit 360 is all about. This is the photograph from that presentation. So in the beginning of the presentation, I mentioned about a young girl, 16-year-old, Greta Thunberg. She is the youngest climate activist from Europe, Sweden. And I will share her story with you all so that you can get inspired and start working on the global goals. As you can see in this infograph, I have mentioned that she advocated about secure, reliable, and clean energy transition. More and more use of renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, biomass, geothermal, etc. What she used to do, she used to miss the school and sit behind the parliament all alone during school hours every day. Her protest was highlighted by the media of Europe and soon became very famous. Her protest is now known as the School Strike for Climate. She is a living example of what we all can do. And today she is receiving funding from different global organizations, European Union, United States, human rights organizations. And we should all be proud of her and try to incorporate what she has been doing in our day-to-day life. This is NTDC's commitment to UN SDGs, and also replace NTDC with power sector. As I said in the beginning, that NTDC is a premier electric utility of power sector of Pakistan. So this is a case study where you can see that I have developed this infograph, and it shows a case study where we have all the primary and secondary set of goals, starting from affordable and clean energy, then industry, innovation, and infrastructure. After that, we have climate action. These are the primary set of goals, and then we have secondary set of goals. So this is the idea of power sector and tackling or achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals. In the beginning of the presentation, I said that one of the learning outcome of today's presentation, 10-point agenda for betterment of engineering profession in Pakistan. And why betterment of engineering profession in Pakistan is part of my presentation, because it deals directly with sustainable development. Problem with our country is that we do not have a stable engineering profession. We do not have any service structure for engineers. We do not have any policy implementation for betterment of engineering profession. So there are few suggestions which we can do with the help of course, Pakistan Engineering Council to revive the lost glory of engineering profession. As you can see in the first point, we can generate a pool of resource persons, like I am today's resource person or a panelist delivering this talk. So we can generate a pool of resource persons from different companies, organizations, public and private sector. And then we can invite them to share their experiences and knowledge about different topics, about different areas of research, about different case studies. We can launch a 3 to 6 month short-term or medium-term internship program for young fresh graduates of engineering from different universities of Pakistan, with the help of Engineering Council, with the help of Pakistan Science Foundation, with the help of Pakistan Council for Science and Industrial Research, with the help of Ministry of Science and Technology, different organizations that can come together as a collaborative effort and work for betterment of engineering profession by providing employment to these young kids. We can develop an energy training center to offer energy training courses to engineers and non-engineers. We have an energy training center in Lahore, which is actually certified by Pakistan Engineering Council. But it was my dream to have this kind of training center even in other provinces, so that the people from Sindh or Balochistan or KP don't have to come to Lahore to attend these training courses. To organize continuing professional development activities, yes, Engineering Council is doing that, IEEE is doing that, Power and Energy Society is doing that. But this idea is not generating fruitful results, as a lot of people do not have exposure and idea about these programs. We have internet connection problems. Many people are not computer literate. So as a result of which, we are generally not aware of these programs and we miss these very important trainings. What Pakistan Engineering Council has done now, that it has introduced the idea of mandatory CPD points, continuing professional development points, or renewal of engineering professional membership. And this is a very good idea and I welcome it, because previously people don't used to take it seriously, and now just for the sake of renewal of membership, they will be able to attend these continuing professional development activities and not just enhance their knowledge, gain exposure, meet different people, enhance their interpersonal skills, enhance their communication, negotiation skills, apart from gaining much needed technical knowledge. To maximize employment of Pakistani engineers in CPEG, USAID, World Bank and ADB projects, why not? If these organizations are investing in our country, they should employ, train Pakistani talent. I mean, most of the projects in Pakistan are funded by these organizations. We have almost 32 billion USD aid here. We have almost $62 billion in investment of CPEG here in Pakistan, and they are installing huge projects here. Why can't they employ our young engineers or other professionals just to start their careers? Moving on in this presentation, the other important factor is we do not have an independent and a transparent instrument for taking tests and interviews for different competitive examinations leading to jobs in public and private sector. So through this presentation, I would like to propose to the competent forums and competent authorities that for God's sake have some sort of a third party, independent, transparent, accountable testing agency sort of system which deals in merit, quality and excellence, so that we can generate outstanding, tremendous human resource potential. The last point is of this slide, induct, nominate young outstanding engineers in PEC Young Engineers Development Committee. So not most of the people attending this seminar or webinar are aware of PEC Young Engineers Development Committee. Yes, it exists, but what it is doing, how many people in Pakistan or in general know about it? There is a committee that provides membership to young outstanding engineers who work in the interest of Engineering Council, who work in the interest of engineers in this country, and 99% people are not aware of it. So this is very unfortunate. So we should all come together and approach Engineering Council to give us membership in Young Engineers Development Committee so that we can contribute in sustainable development of engineering profession. Award research grants to young engineers having research and development background. We cannot achieve sustainable development without research culture. We have to inculcate research culture in our country. We have to institutionalize research and development programs in our country. A research-oriented mindset can control, even mitigate unemployment. If we are independent researchers, tomorrow we can generate our own research group, develop research papers, and earn money, apart from being self-employed. Last point is confidence building measures among various stakeholders for development of engineering projects. Again, it speaks about the commercialization of engineering products. Now we are in the crisis of coronavirus. We are in a pandemic situation, and we are short of ventilators, masks, and this is basically the domain of biomedical engineers, or you can say electronic engineers for that matter. But since they do not have a platform through which they could commercialize their products and research their patents, we are left behind from the rest of the world. This is the initiative that I launched when I joined NTDC. Actually, during summer and winter vacation breaks, many students used to come from Mehran University, NED University, or even when I joined Power System Planning in Lahore for seeking internships in NTDC, or even for that matter in generation or distribution companies, because we are closely associated with these companies. So I used to always entertain them and provide them with much needed institutional help so that they get internships. Although, let me confess that it's very difficult in public sector to do these type of things, because there is a lot of red tape and you have to go through a lot of proper channel to execute these things. This is about the engineering internship initiative that I launched, or it explains or how we can further make it strong to launch this initiative and provide internships to engineering students in local power houses and grid station in oil refineries, work on policy making to cater the training and development, etc., etc., industry alumni linkages, database of aspiring interns. All these things can be done. You can generate a database of interns who are interested in internships in OGDCL, in PTCL, in NTDC, in GENCOs, and distribution companies, in media channels, various organizations, but how to provide them with a platform where universities have failed, or their industrial liaison offices or student linkage offices are not that much efficient. So in that context, how you can help those students avail internship program. Establishment of an energy research center. This is a policy paper. Now we have an energy research center in Lahore, but how can similar energy research center be established in Quetta and Karachi or Peshawar? We will have to approach Engineering Council for certification of an energy institute, and we will need endorsement from different academia and research institutes, or even public sector institutes. So this is just a concept that why don't I have an energy training center in Hyderabad or Karachi, which can be endorsed or supported by Mehran UET or National Academy of Young Sciences or IEEE for that matter. This is the concept of SDG monitoring cell and academia collaboration unit. You can see that I have divided this program in 4 stages. First stage, second stage, third stage, and fourth stage. First stage depicts establishment of SDG monitoring cell. Second stage, we can establish academia collaboration unit or university engagement framework. Third stage, we have monitoring and evaluation capacity assessment in power sector. Fourth stage is monitoring and evaluation policy implementation. So first step is SDG monitoring cell, Sustainable Development Goal Monitoring Cell. Now, most of the people may not be aware that we have planning commission in Pakistan that deals with development projects. And it has been tasked to implement Sustainable Development Goals framework in Pakistan. And Planning Commission approached Power Sector and Higher Education Commission of Pakistan to help them achieve SDG framework. Now, in order to achieve SDG framework, first of all, we should have a dedicated SDG monitoring cell where we could track the progress of sustainable development goals in different sectors of Pakistan. And I have taken, for example, power sector. For instance, affordable and clean energy. By 2030, the Alternate Energy Development Board of Pakistan, AEDB, has given the target of generating 30% power from renewable energy by 2030. Now, this is an aggressive target, and it also coincides or complements the affordable and clean energy UN SDG goal number 7. Now, we have established an aggressive target. This also complements or coincides with UN SDG goal. But how much of it has been done? Till today, we have been able to generate only 5% of power from renewable energy. And today is 13th May 2020. And after 10 years, will I be able to say that we would have generated 30% power from renewable energy? Now, this is a very aggressive target, but not that practical or pragmatic. Now, this is where SDG monitoring cell comes into function, which will monitor the progress of those goals against certain baseline indicators. And for that matter, we will require the help of academia, which will be provided by the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. Because the faculty and students will be the key human resource potential to develop the data set from the real-time examples and case studies of power sector organization. Third stage, we have monitoring and evaluation capacity assessment in power sector. Once we have established SDG monitoring cell and academia collaboration unit, then we will need capacity assessment for monitoring and evaluation, whether power sector along with HEC and planning commission have the capacity to do the monitoring and evaluation required for these SDGs. And finally, we will need M&E policy implementation, where we will be able to implement what we have designed so far. On April 5, I wrote a research article titled Sustainable Development and National Research Agenda. This article is available on LinkedIn, and you all can go to my article and read it. Whatever I am trying to explain in my presentation today is all there. And that article, once you read it thoroughly, and you can discuss it later with me through my email account or even through other platforms. Revival of research and development culture. How do we revive or inculcate research culture in our organizational makeup? How do we reinstate directorates of research and development in Pakistan? First of all, we will have to create general public awareness regarding importance of research culture. We will have to create a lot of task forces of young students, young professionals. Research focus should be on sustainable development and universal access to energy sources. For instance, keeping in view the purview of our sector, restructuring. We will need a lot of restructuring because today's system does not provide us with the environment for research and development culture. I am very sorry to say. This photograph shows us a training session of Siemens on a software titled PSSE Siemens. Why I am showing this photograph to my audience is because these private sector companies are very important for our skill development, such as Siemens and ABB, General Electric. These companies provide very expensive training schemes on very expensive software setups, such as PSSE, Flexos, LabVIEW, MATLAB, project management softwares, different other softwares for professional development, for skill development. This is another glimpse from an ABB transmission and distribution workshop on grid system digitalization that was held in last year in March in Lahore. So this is the end of my presentation, and I would welcome a lot of questions and queries from my audience. Thank you very much.
So there is a question.
Yes.
So how can we get Merit 360 scholarship?
Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. I am a student of Punjab University in 4th semester doing electrical engineering.
Right. What's your name?
Sir Muhammad Abdul Rahman.
Muhammad Abdul Rahman. So, Rahman, you see that there are a lot of programs in which you can participate.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Not necessary that you need to participate in Merit 360. Merit 360 is actually expired now. It was launched in 2016 and it continued its operations for 3 years from 2016 to 2018.
Okay, sir.
Right. But if you keep in touch, I will guide you about different international programs in which you can participate, like
Thank you so much.
like a TEDx fellowship, like British Council Future Leaders Connect program. And there are different programs on sustainable development in which you can participate if you have very good ideas on which you can work.
Okay, sir, their audience is saying that if you kindly please elaborate some of the programs yet.
If they can ask me question one by one, I will be happy to answer them.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, we have given your email ID. Inshallah, if they have any question, they will contact to you. Okay, so one question is here. How to get internship in NTDC?
This question is from whom?
So one of our attendee who is attending this webinar right now.
Yes, the question is how can we avail internship in NTDC?
Exactly, sir.
You see that previously there used to be a decentralized system of internship program in NTDC where you just needed an invitation letter. I'm sorry, the letter from your university, from your department, right?
Okay, sir.
You needed a letter from your department, from your university, and that you needed to present to the regional office of NTDC, any regional office. For instance, if you belong to Multan, you can go to any regional office of NTDC and present that university letter.
Yes, sir.
Clearly mentioning about the time period for which you need internship and clearly mentioning about the place where you need internship. NTDC is a huge organization and we have grid station, transmission line and dispatch centers.
Okay, sir.
And you all can keep in touch with me through emails.
Yes, sir.
Or telephone, and I will guide you how you can avail the internship program in detail.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so our next webinar will be on Friday, 10th of May 2020. At the same time, Ma'am Aisha Tabassum will talk on Find Your Inner Skills and Start Making Money. She is founder and director of Ticon Cloud9 and chief operating officer of Misfit. She is also graphic designer at ESR, Eat, Sleep, Repeat, and graphic designer Mekong Restaurant. Business developer at Talim Consultancy and working as a graphic designer trainer at Women Engineers Pakistan and Khud organization. And if you are looking to start freelancing or wanted to do some work along with your studies, then this webinar is for you. You will get to know how to create your profile on Upwork and create your gigs on Fiverr. Then you need to attend this webinar. Thank you so much for your attention. We will email e-certificates to you within 1 or 2 working days. If you have any query, feel free to ask.
Excuse me, sir. This Mohammad Hamza here, Mohammad Hamza Sham, the organizer of the webinar. There's a question from a participant that I'm a student of Punjab University doing Bachelor of Computer Sciences in 4th semester. Is there any program available to participate as an IT student? Can you please answer that question?
Yes, there are some programs like Cisco internship program in the United States. So an undergrad can certainly apply in that program and it suits him because he is a student of computer science. Apart from that, I would like to suggest all the participants to remain quite vigilant on social media. Just the groups such as Scholarship Network or Opportunities Corner. These pages are very helpful in providing you with these opportunities, and you can go through all these opportunities and then gauge yourself accordingly where you fit in, and then you start applying. And my suggestion is to keep applying, because you will learn through this process what are their requirements, and once you will start getting rejected will be the time when you will be able to assess your position, and inshallah there will be a time that one day you will get something.
There's another question. He's saying, what is the main source of renewable energy in Pakistan at Vision 2030?
Can you please repeat the question?
What is the main source of renewable energy in Pakistan at Vision 2030?
What is the main source of renewable energy in Pakistan in?
At Vision 2030.
Right. Basically, it's not called the Vision 2030. The vision was 2025. If you all could go through my article on LinkedIn, if I could share here, Hamza, could I share here?
Yeah, I can share your presentation and your article via link as well.
So can I open the article here? If the time is
Yeah, if you want to open, you can open here as well.
I'm
Yeah, you
going
can
to-
open now. Yeah.
So I'm just opening my article. So is it visible?
Yeah, we can see that.
You guys can see it?
Yes, we can see.
This is my latest research article, and so far it's published on LinkedIn on my profile, but it's soon going to be published in the Energy Update magazine of Pakistan. And this article has been endorsed by the Central Steering Committee of the Federation of Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Islamabad. So the presentation that I delivered today is basically the central idea of this research article or study. You can see it starts with the background, power sector's commitment to UN SDGs. We have primary UN SDGs that I just discussed. Then we have secondary UN SDGs. This is the first page, and this is a long article. This is a 5-page article, and you guys can go through it and do your homework on it since you have gone through the presentation. So I will once again come back to the renewable energy question that the guy just asked. The question was, what is the maximum source of renewable energy as per the 2030 agenda? So, who was asking the question? Can he introduce himself? Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Khurram, can you please unmute your mic and give the small introduction?
If he cannot, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to know the background of this.
I was asking about what is the main source of renewable energy in Pakistan other than the wind energy plants at Jhampi. Can you explain it?
There are different sources. Solar is a source in Pakistan, apart from wind. Bagasse is a source. Biomass is a source. There are different sources. Geothermal is not that mainstream in Pakistan, but geothermal is also an important source. And apart from that, small scale hydel generation is also categorized as a renewable energy source. I hope that answers the question. As far as the 2030 agenda is concerned, solar and wind renewable energy integration will be the key. And after the 2030, going towards the 2047 agenda, hydel will be the key as per the generation plan. Any further questions?
Thank you very much, Naveed, for your time and for the wonderful presentation.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you all the participants, all the attendees, the host for this evening, the organizer, Mr. Mohammed Hamza, who provided me with this platform. Profound gratitude to all the IEEE organizers for inviting my thoughts on this very important discussion. I would also like to remain in close coordination with all the IEEE stakeholders in Lahore, Karachi, all the young professionals. I have different ideas. We can work in a really dignified and very appropriate organizational manner, and we can work on research and development, training and development, professional development, skill development, project management, a lot of things. Thank you very much.
Before ending the meeting, there's one last question. What about liaison with university, about industrial linkages program?
Who is asking the question?
Let me unmute the mic.
It would be better if the mics are unmuted.
If,
So I could interact with
Sir,
email.
sir, I have a question. What about industrial linkages? Any plans from NTDC or any other organization with respect to sustainable development with university? Students are currently doing the research projects in the universities, and I think they should be installing industrial linkages so that we can go towards the R&D side, not only the research side.
Could you type the question? I'm unable to hear you properly, or you could transfer the question to the host of the organization. Sorry, to the host of this event. It's a very good question. I have got the gist of your question. If you are unable to transfer the question properly, I got your question. I could answer you.
I have written the question in the question answer box.
You have written in the question answer. What's your name?
Arsalan.
Comment is not appearing here. Okay, I've got your question, and I'm answering the question. You see, you asked about industrial liaison and industry alumni linkages. It's a very good question that pertains to the topic exactly. You see, we do not have an efficient industrial linkage in universities, unfortunately. Apart from few good universities such as Lahore University of Management Sciences, NUST, GIK, IBA Karachi, UET Lahore to some extent, Mehran University to a very limited extent, NED is doing well. NED in terms of employability is doing well. So you see, unfortunately, we do not have a very good system about the industrial linkage, organization of research, innovation, commercialization, which has been instituted in different universities by the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan, not doing that efficiently. And unfortunately, this is the case. And if you are a student, you should, turn the tables over and do something about the university.
Actually, sir, I am from University of Lahore. I am teaching in electrical engineering department. I am lecturer there, and we are looking for actually industrial linkages with some industrial personnel, and that is also the requirement from the Pakistan Engineering College. And since we have to
Absolutely.
put the applications, level 2 accreditations and all that. So in reference to that, actually I was asking how we can develop you are from the industry, I'm from the academic institute, and how we can develop industrial linkages. We have students with us who have potential to do the research and go for the commercialization of the products they make
Okay.
as a result of research products.
I got your question. Okay, do one exercise. Just write this question in detail and email it to me, and I will write a response in detail.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's good.
The summary of my answer is that if all universities do have an industrial linkage system, but the problem is it's not that effective, it's not that efficient, it's not result oriented, it's not giving us what we want. The employability in Pakistan is not improving. Research culture is deteriorating day by day. So what is the use of these useless organizations or departments? We need to restructure them. Simple as that. And if you write me a question, I will write a detailed response, and you can get in touch later on. Any
Yes,
other questions?
please, yes, I will take your email from Hamza Sham, and then I will send you a detailed email regarding this question. I think we should, initiate something for the betterment of Pakistan at least.
Rightly so. I will do share it, and I will be happy to visit your university and do something.
Inshallah. Yeah, sure. I'll be keep in touch with you. I have also added you on Facebook, and I'll be also email you, and then we'll keep in touch regarding this, so we can come up with a better solution and for the betterment of society, and of course for sustainable development. That is the most important and very related to the topic of today. So
Thank you.
I'll just
Thank you.
try it to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Hope we will remain in contact, inshallah.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure. Profound gratitude be with you all. Thanks a lot. Wishing you all the best.
We thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your time.